that. Bam. We have murder charges. Murder charges, because y'all know we like murder out here in the doggone street. We got murder charges filed against a good mama in the deadly Grand Rapids house fire. We just spoke about the beautiful baby yesterday. She in caught.
Off the top at 6, some other accused of setting fire to her home, causing the death of her 12-year-old daughter, is facing a new charge today.
This comes while new details about her recent mental health history come to light. News 8's Duncan
Didn't I tell y'all they were going to talk about her mental health?
McLean has the latest on the case against Rakonda Singleton.
Ryan, so today News 8 found additional records of mental health struggles documented in September of last year, while the Kent County prosecuting attorney amended their list of charges to include felony murder, which carries a mandatory sentence of life in prison without parole. But whether or not Singleton serves that, the 10 years for the underlying arson charge, or ends up back in a mental facility will come down to an evaluation.
What do you mean back in a mental facility? So she's been in a mental facility before?
Which reflects the statewide trend over the last decade.
If you look at the statistics from the Center for Forensic Psychiatry, you're seeing the numbers go up in terms of cases referred, people going in through either incompetent evaluations or insanity evaluations.
So many of them are able to be mothers. Remember, the numbers is going up. The majority is females. In case y'all don't know that, do your own research. You say, Willie, schools is like jails. They lose funding if not enough occupants. That's a fact, and that's why they will come around there and see about them goddamn babies and take your ass to jail for playing with their money.
Michigan versus Rakonda Singleton.
Rakonda Singleton reflecting a growing trend.
Y'all need to clean that little glass that y'all looking at Rakonda through.
According to the Kent County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, of crimes committed by people who cannot or should not be held responsible.
If there's any sort of history, the probate court, there's something they can point to, we generally let that go through and figure it out, because we have no desire to convict somebody who's mentally ill and was not able to conform to the requirements.
We have something in law that people who dealing with mental illness cannot and will not be prosecuted for the crimes that they commit. This could be a whole mama caring for her children every day. Y'all do know that this stuff really benefits women? Huh? You could be a whole mama raising your children 2-3 years before you go ahead on and knock them off. But as soon as you commit a crime against those children who you've been raising 2-3 goddamn years, hell, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. As soon as you do something to them, you can't be held accountable. But you've been raising these children, or you've been getting your checks, you've been paying your bills, you've been going to work. Maybe you ain't been going to work. You still been getting peed in. You still been producing children. You've been doing all this regular shit like everybody else who don't have that mental problem. But if you knock your kids off, you don't get to be held accountable for it. But if she knock her kids off, she get held accountable because she ain't got no mental issues. Y'all play too much. Really do.
The probate court, there's something they can point to. We generally let that go through and figure it out, because we have no desire to convict somebody who's mentally ill. And
do you see the smile that's on his face? Because we have no desire of it. Fuck is you smiling by? Pimp, she shot the house on fire. And I know that you're not talking about her, but you're talking about people in general. I get it, but come on, yo.
Let that go through and figure it out, because we have no desire to convict somebody who's mentally ill and was not able to conform to the requirements.
And that's what I've been saying for the longest. Everybody got mental illness. Everybody have mental issues. Everybody. I don't care nothing about your degrees. You got mental issues too.
Their actions to the requirements of the laws.
Our analysis of records from the 17th Circuit Court today uncovered a petition for a personal protection order.
Remember we said that she got a little burn on her nose and maybe a little burn spot on her little cheek?
Eventually denied by Singleton's sister, filed last year.
Whoa. We got a protection order. Say that again.
Circuit Court today uncovered a petition for a personal protection order, eventually denied by Singleton's sister, filed last year. The paperwork reflecting that it resembled stalking behavior. That, in addition to an ordered stay in a mental health facility following a separate public incident, will likely throw a wrinkle in the case as it resumes with a probable cause hearing on February 10, if the defense calls for a mental evaluation.
A competency decides whether the person understands the charges as they're filed now. Can she assist in her defense? Is she aware of what's going on? So assuming you get over that hurdle, then the second part is criminal responsibility, which is different. They can sometimes get mixed up. Criminal responsibility is essentially, could the person, even with the mental health history, essentially conform her actions to the requirements of the law.
If Singleton is found unfit, the case will be transferred over to probate court, which has very different outcomes than the current possibility of life in prison without parole.
It wouldn't be a conviction. I mean, that's the thing. We couldn't, if somebody's deemed, not guilty by reason of insanity, it's not necessarily a conviction. They could plead not guilty by reason of insanity, and it just goes over to the probate court then. It does not go as a conviction. They would not serve prison time. It could be in a facility, they could be in a mental health hospital for as long as the probate court deems necessary. If they are not, if they somehow correct their behavior, they get treatment, they could be released to a halfway house, AFC home, stuff like that.
If they somehow correct their behavior, all they have to do is act so-called normal. That would be correcting their behavior. All you have to do is, while you in there, don't set the building on fire. That's correcting your behavior. Don't be screaming and shouting and causing a problem. That's correcting your behavior.
I should note Becker there is speaking in generalities and not specifically about this case. And Singleton's defense has not requested a mental evaluation yet, but in light of her history, it's very likely. If they do, it could delay this case by months, even more than a year. And in the meantime, she'll continue to be housed at the county jail as things proceed.
She said that right there. It said with her history, because they did say that she have a history. With her history, she was still able. She still had custody of her children. Children is best left with their mama there. Moving right along. I ain't gonna eat much of you. Yeah. I know. She's going through a little something postpartum. Got it. She's stalking bitches.